Hello everyone, this is Moses from Zaatar Gardens. Lulu's right here, and Talin is just sunbathing. Say hi, Talin. Pare. Mis peces. She loves looking at the tree above her. Oh, make sure there's no sun on her. So this is the informational video of the jujube I've been growing. I think it's been 4 years now. It might be 3. Here it is right here. I'll pan up. So it starts right here, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute, how I grow it and whatnot. Pans up, and it's coming out of dormancy. Keeps going. I'll zoom in pretty close here so you can see what the leaves look like. So with this tree, this is a Li variety, Li Jujube. I grew this tree because it doesn't need any help at all. I knew that going in when I purchased it. I never grew one before, but I did know someone that grew it, and they said just put it. It was in the middle of the field by itself, like a pioneer. Pioneer meaning it's a plant that you just plant in the middle of nowhere, like an oak tree, and it'll do fine. The only one there, pioneering. And it was just in the middle of nowhere, never gets watered, never gets pruned, nothing, and it just keeps producing. So how I grow this, much like everything else, I have a lot of wood chip mulching. In this area is not so much because of Lulu. She keeps running back and forth down here and back and forth, so there's not much wood chips as it used to be. But I did put about 6 inches of wood chips. I don't really foliar feed. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need any fertilizer. I mean, I could foliar feed. I could give it fish emulsion and seaweed. There's no need. Or blood meal. There's no need. It won't even help it. Like, you think if I give it a lot of fertilizer, it's going to grow faster. Nope. It's been growing the same amount every year since I planted. And I'll talk about that in another video, about how its growth habit well, not its growth habit. Its growth habit is it's moderate. I want to say it's fast, but there's something interesting about its growth habit that I'll do in another video. It fruits. It sets fruit. It comes out of dormancy middle of March in my area, Zone 9B, Central California, and it flowers probably in about another 2 weeks. It's been pretty cool lately for us here. It hasn't even hit 80 yet. You know, it did about a month ago, and then all of a sudden it went down to the 60s, and I think it's 70 degrees today. A little bit too cool. With the pruning of this, and I'm going to talk about more of the pruning in the other video as well, but these are called the pine cones, I believe. They're referred to, maybe it's a slang term, these things right here. This is the only place that it leaves out and produces fruit, these bumps, as you can see. Never prune those bumps off. I mean, if you have to, if something's in the way, like we had 2 little ones here, it stuck out this far, and I was always hitting it while walking, so I pruned it back. If you have to for convenience, do so. But do not prune, because if you prune this or this bump, these little bumps, it's gone. They do have thorns that get kind of wicked and hooked. Let me zoom in on them. See them right there? 2 of them. Every crown, or not, every pine cone has 2 thorns. Look at that one on the right. Darn it. Isn't that wicked? Every one. So I'm going to do a lot of close-up shots so you guys can see, because a lot of questions on the jujube. The fruit, I would say is about ready around mid-June to early July. Don't quote me on that. I can't really remember that well on that, but it's around that time. When it gets really hot, then it's ready. I like it dried. You could eat it even green. Green tastes it's pretty crunchy. It's not so sweet. It's more acidic. Or you could wait till it browns up, and I'll put some links in the video up here and there. You can wait till it browns up, and you'll see a heavy sweetness. There's no taste to this jujube. There's no taste at all. Sorry for me being staggered in this video. I'm just trying to keep an eye on my little baby. So if I pan off and I'm like, Moses, what were you going to say? That's because I was looking at my little baby. No one can watch her right now, and I want to get these videos out of the way. The fruit. Dried up is best. And they say that if you dry up this, it's called, like, I think Chinese date. It can stay on the counter supposedly for like 3 years, this tree. I mean, the fruit, when it's dried up. That's another reason why I liked it too, because I don't like hurrying up to eat the fruit. I want to know I could always come back to eat fruit. Not like the Santa Rosa right over here, where if I don't, here's some fruit over here. If I don't eat that fruit, within a week, it's all rotten. So that's troubling sometimes. Now I'm growing new plants like the mangoes and other things like that. Newer plants. But this tree, out of all the plants I have, out of all the trees I have, not the plants, maybe some herbaceous herbs probably die back sooner, but this is the first tree to go dormant. So I think in August, maybe September, the leaves are already falling off. Really quick. So you would think it would be one of the fastest growing because it's early set. It's not. So that's unfortunate. The flowers are kind of pretty. They kind of remind me of a currant, red currant flowers. I'll put a link in the video somewhere up here. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If I didn't mention it before, the fruit doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like a sweet apple with no apple flavor. But it's really good though. You don't think that would be good? It's kind of like eating a sugar cane mixed with an apple. An apple texture, but the sugar cane sweetness, but no flavor. That's the best way to explain it, in my opinion. Maybe some other varieties have a little more taste, but not the Li. And the Li, I think, is the biggest variety. I mean, they can get up like this big. The biggest one I've had, like huge, like 3 inches round. So it's pretty large. I think it is, and it's self-fertile. So if you want a tree and you don't want to buy another one, a Jujube, get a Li. You're not gonna regret it. A Li's good. You don't go, oh, I wonder if I got a contorted or a Lang or. Oh, God, there's another one, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, catchy marketing names that make you think, ooh, it must be better. The Li's fine. So, and another question I get a lot, does it send out runners? Like, the roots will go out to here and send out another Jujube? Well, this variety has not, and I don't think will ever, because it's been 4 years, I think, since I've had this tree. I believe it's 4. But I have seen a Lang, L-A-N-G, variety that needs to be pollinated with the Li, or another variety at least. I have seen the Lang in the pot, in a nursery, send out shoots in the pot. So that variety will probably send out runners. But if you get a Li, as far as my experience, I haven't had a runner once. And if you have a runner, some people like that. More Jujubes, but that might be the wild type. The wild Jujube are really small and tart. They're tiny. Every Jujube, as far as my research has shown, is grafted onto the wild Jujube because the seeds of the Li, Lang, and any other cultivar can't germinate that well. You know, like, I'm just throwing out a number, like a crazy number, like 5% germination rate. Like, you need 100 seeds and only 5 are going to make it, kind of thing. So they grow the little tiny Jujube seeds, wild ones, and then graft on top of that. Let me know in the comments any other questions. I'm going to do another video on this right now. Happy gardening.